Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Friday, February 6, 2015. It is brutally cold out there. Temperatures, actual temperatures, are below zero over much of the interior, with temperatures ranging from 1 below all the way down to 10 below in many locations over the interior. Along the coast, not much better. Temperatures ranging from the lower single digits to the lower to mid teens right along the immediate coast. Of course, the warmest locations are in your urban locations where it's a toasty 15 degrees in New York City. Combine that with the winds around 5 to 15 miles per hour right now, increasing to 10 to 20 miles per hour later on this morning. It's going to lead to wind chills below zero in many locations to the single digits. So bundle up out there. It's going to be brutally cold today. The good news is that this Arctic air, this true Arctic air, will not last long. It won't be in here for much longer than about 24 hours, and then it is done for the rest of the forecast period that includes all the way through next week, where we stay below normal, but not like this. This is just brutally cold. Temperatures today will rebound, if you want to call it that, into the upper teens over the interior and upper teens to lower 20s along the coast, with winds again from the northwest becoming west at around 10 to 20 miles per hour, weakening to 5 to 15 miles per hour by this evening. So again, bundle up because it is going to be brutally cold out there. On our latest surface map, you can see Arctic high pressure is pretty much dominating much of the eastern half of the United States with dry and tranquil weather conditions. Here's our Arctic cold front that we're going to be watching for this weekend, approaching the Great Lakes and eventually setting up over New England for much of the forecast period heading into this weekend into the start of next week, with the Arctic high pressure poised over portions of Western Canada, ready to dive towards southeastern Canada over the next 48 hours. So we clearly have a weather pattern that is very cold. The question is, will it be very active in terms of precipitation? When we take a look at our radar, it's pretty much high and dry over much of the eastern United States. We do have an Arctic disturbance that is moving through the eastern Great Lakes that will produce a few flurries, I think, over portions of northeastern Pennsylvania, the Hudson River Valley, and northern Connecticut. Not anything significant though, so don't be surprised to see a passing snow shower or flurry this afternoon, but that's about it. No real accumulation is expected out of that. When we take a look at the water vapor satellite picture over much of North America, you can see a pretty progressive pattern here over the United States overall, with the Pacific jet coming into the west coast with nice rainfall over the west coast, and then rapidly moving east towards the Canadian Maritimes here. So we're not dealing with a significantly blocked up weather pattern in any way, shape, or form. All of these disturbances are moving into the United States and driving towards the Atlantic without much of impedance as far as getting towards the northwestern Atlantic. So no real blockings really in place with this pattern, but certainly supportive for a cold weather pattern with our polar vortex locked up around the Hudson Bay. So we have all the ingredients necessary to create a cold weather pattern, but not necessarily a stormy weather pattern for the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Locations further north, towards the interior, towards Connecticut, Albany, New England, different story. It's going to be a better potential for some moderate to heavy snowfall through this later on this weekend and into early next week in those locations. But for our neck of the woods, this pattern just isn't supportive of that type of snowfall. We could see an inch or two, maybe, over portions of the New York City metropolitan area, and perhaps a trace to an inch over the Philadelphia metropolitan area by the time we get to Monday evening. But I think that's about it with this potential for this upcoming 5 days. So let's take a look at the GFS model guidance for the next several days via the Penn State UL website. I do want to point out that the NAM and the Canadian model guidance has been thrown out. There's a lot of errors involved in that. And the GFS and the European model guidance are pretty much in agreement on the overall setup with this weather pattern. There's a few minor detailed differences, but overall it's the same forecast coming up for the next 7 days. So for today, high pressures in control, temperatures rebounding into the upper teens over the interior and lower 20s along the coast. For tomorrow, high pressure will remain in control. Low temperatures will range from the lower to mid teens over the interior, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast. High temperatures will rebound into the upper 20s to lower 30s over the interior and mid to upper 30s along the coast. Could be a 40-degree temperature mixed in there in some of your urban locations. Again, with high pressure in place, dry conditions can be expected with increasing cloud cover towards tomorrow evening. On Sunday, Arctic cold front will attempt, and I say attempt, to move through the region but will fail and generally remain to the north of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Look for a few passing rain and snow showers, but no significant snowfall accumulations expected. And really much of the day will be dry for the region as the majority of the precipitation will remain further north towards the Mohawk River Valley and towards New England. Temperatures on Sunday will range from the mid to upper 20s for lows throughout the region. High temperatures in the lower to mid 30s over the interior, where we're going to be a little bit closer to the Arctic cold front. And then along the coast, upper 30s to lower 40s, clearly not supportive of any accumulating snowfall along the coast or in any of the urban locations. Now, on Monday, that disturbance will drive south a little bit further with a wave of low pressure along the Arctic cold front, leading to the potential for some of this rain-snow mix to change over to snow on Monday afternoon. As a result, there will be a potential for some accumulating snowfall even in the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, although very minor and very light. Look for temperatures on Monday to range from the lower to mid 20s over the interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast, high temperatures in the upper 20s over the interior, and lower to mid 30s along the coast, again supporting the potential for some accumulating snowfall along the coast and certainly accumulating snowfall over the far northern interior. That low pressure system will exit, and then high pressure will be in control for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday, as the majority of the low pressure systems will remain weak, remain further to the north, and generally Arctic high pressure will be in place with some rather chilly weather conditions. And with that being considered, look at the temperatures for the next several days from Tuesday on through Friday. Low temperatures will basically range from the single digits to lower teens over the interior and mid to upper teens along the coast. Could be a few lower 20s mixed into some of your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 20s over the interior and upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. Again, a few mid 30s mixed into some of your urban locations in Philadelphia and New York City, but overall a rather chilly weather pattern will be in place for next week, with temperatures averaging well below normal. So again, the focus for any major storm, well, look north, towards New England, towards the Mohawk River Valley, even north of Boston in this scenario. As far as our neck of the woods, a minor impact, if any, for the urban locations of Philadelphia and New York City, especially Philadelphia, you'll barely notice this threat. But for New York City, you'll probably get a little bit of light snow on Monday. Again, not a major storm impact in any way, shape, or form. Those of you in Connecticut, though, and in the Hudson River Valley, definitely a potential for some moderate snowfall. And we'll keep you posted on a potential impact map by this evening. That is your forecast discussion for today. Thank you for following NY and JPA weather. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. As always, stay safe out there.